Welcome. These will be my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead, Season 2, Episode 8, Grotesque. The episode is rated TVMA, so this video there will be spoilers for everything live action Walking Dead leading up to including this episode, but not for anything after. And, yeah, another episode that I absolutely loved. So I quite like how this was, I don't know if bottle episode quite fits, but, it was entirely focused on Nick. And yeah, I quite appreciated how it yeah. I think we're gonna try to keep this more or less chronological. Yeah. So yeah, at first, there's the conversation about, where to even go. And she tells him, so, look in that direction. You see that mountain. The one that kind of looks like the ridge of a woman's back. And he looks and he's like, that mountain looks like a duck. And she's like, no, you have to tilt your head and squint your eyes. To which he says, that makes it look like a bunny rabbit. And yeah, holy crap, walking. So he walked like, was it 60 miles or was it 40 miles? It was something along those lines. That's not nothing. And he starts with this thing full of water, but then this woman has, she chases him out before he can get it, the water, that is. And it's one of those things of like, it's hard not to admire her. Like, I feel bad for him, obviously, because he thought this place was abandoned. He didn't think he would be encroaching on anyone. But she's like so deep into this like mama bear bat assness, and we can also completely understand where she's coming from. She can't tell that he's not one of the dangerous. I mean, we see later in the episode how dangerous some of these guys are. So, and let's see. I feel like that is around where we get the first of the flashbacks. So, yeah, we have him talking to the other. Yeah, I like the thing about type A girl doesn't like to lose. Type A girl doesn't lose. Type A girl is making his point and referring to herself in the third person. And yeah, that thing about, I wasn't intending to distribute. I was holding it for someone else. And she's like, and where is he? That's the thing, isn't it? And yeah, it was really effective getting some, we already knew that there was some, something about his father, but yeah, getting the thing about, so yeah, his father's always tired. He doesn't even eat dinner. He just goes into his room, and yeah, he's listening, but, just, yeah, that was very, very nicely done. And it is, of course, like, sadly accurate. A number of, not all, absolutely not all, but a number of the people who struggle with addiction, it is, at least in part, because of the relationship. It's not always with the parents. Sometimes it's with other people, but, and once again, not all. I'm not saying that you are to blame if there's someone in your life who is struggling with it. And let's see. That is that flashback. So let's see. I think the next bit is right. That is when he yeah, he's so desperate that yeah, he tries to get something out of one of those cacti. And I don't know enough to say exactly what it is he's doing wrong, except I'm pretty sure, like, as soon as he started eating some of the innards, I was like, I have never heard of anyone recommend doing that. Like, I've heard that there's, like, if you know what you're doing, you can get liquid out of it. But I have never heard anyone say that you should just eat. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But that is yeah. And thankfully he does vomit it back up. His body recognizes what his mind currently doesn't. It would seem that it's not good for him, and so he gets something to drink the only way he knows how, which yeah, I mean, I guess he did. Alicia tell him that was something Jack said they might soon have to do, although that did turn out to be a lie. I guess it's not impossible he recently listened to Tim Heidecker. Does that need explaining? I don't know. I feel like it's almost funnier if I don't provide context. I'm not saying that he literally has done that. Just I don't know. You can probably Google your way to an answer. I'm not making any accusations here or anything. Just and I feel like that might be the next of the flashbacks. Which, yeah, this. Yeah, I liked him trying to guess where Type A girl is from. Bel Air, Beverly Hills. And then, oh, so dad's not coming. And, yeah, like, we, the audience, already know exactly what Maddie is going to have to tell him. But that, I appreciate it. It's one of those scenes where that doesn't make it less sad. In a way, it almost more so. Because, like, he's like, ugh, so my father's not even coming to talk to me, even though this is really important. He keeps letting me down, kind of thing. But yeah, um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, in a way, when he says that, so that's not coming, you're more right than you think. And yeah, God, the part where he breaks out, love the cut to Type A girl is like, just give me a couple of minutes. So yeah, just to make sure that he's okay. And yeah, the thing about just the details. And I mean, at least apparently he didn't suffer. They think he didn't suffer. And I think that is just about the yeah. And that is, like, I appreciate that is one of those things of, like, that can help people grieve, to know that at least it would appear that the person didn't suffer. But yeah, I mean, sadly, the thing that they describe happens all the time, and a number of cases, yeah, it does lead to death. He suffered a collision in the car, um, applied directly to the forehead, head on. I think that's enough gallows humor for that scene. So the recap. I mean, seriously though, it really got to me. Which, like, sometimes you can tell because that I do the bad jokes in response. Seriously though, it got to me, and yeah, really really well done. And yeah, just in general, it's such a great episode. I wanted to briefly say, so because, like, he said to Celia, he's tired of all the killing. Like, understandable after the killing they had to do to even get to Celia's. And yeah, just it was really we can completely understand why he is willing to put himself through this to, yeah. And I think that is when, yeah, so he goes to get the yeah, he's still looking for something to drink, so he gets a tiny little bit of water that's left in the car, and then the radio, which it's actually they ended up cutting the following. It ended up cutting on the floor, but originally, right before he arrives, there was a character who said, "There is nothing left of the woman you love in that car." At which point, the walker turned off the loud music. It was really quite something. But yeah, then the car pulls up, and at first it's like, okay, they're definitely armed. They're taking a little bit too much in pleasure in finishing off walkers for my liking. And then it is made crystal clear when they find a survivor and take him out. And then they're like, radio, what's going on with that radio? And now he has to run. I'm sorry, I think I referenced that too much. It's like the one line in that movie that I kind of liked. It is a garbage movie, obviously, but you already knew that, if you even recognize the reference. If not, good for you. You shouldn't, maybe you haven't even watched it. And now I feel it's my civic duty to let you know the movie I referenced is Wild Wild West from 1999. It is terrible. It is as bad as you've heard, possibly worse. I mean, I think it fits that when South Park, referenced it. I guess it's possible they referenced it more than once, but I think the first time they referenced it, they had Eric Cartman like it. That's a pretty clear indication that they agree that it's abysmal. And like normally, I like a lot of the work of Kevin Kline, and obviously also Salma Hayek. And, at this point I would obviously be remiss to say. I know not everybody loves him, but I do really, really appreciate the immense talent of Kenneth Branagh. I think I've run the joke into the ground. Anyway, let's see. So the yeah, and he comes across the let's see, that's the part with the other car, I think. And then wakes up to some dogs. And it's one of those things, I just feel like I must call it out, even though like I don't think it's a big problem, but it is slightly amusing that, we're sitting there thinking, oh, these dangerous angry dogs, and then there's a couple of shots where you can clearly see tails wagging. It's like the actor's like, oh no, I am in danger, and the dog's like, we are having fun. And I'm not saying they could particularly have done anything about it. And listen, I mean, I'd rather see that than like, let's see, it's been a while since I saw an angry dog. I want to say, isn't that when the tail is just sticking up directly towards the sky or something? It's been so long. I'm not in the habit of being close to angry dogs. Anyway, and he does, that was really, really cool, him fighting it off, and then he gets on top of the car, and not long after, survivors discover the bite and assume it's infected, and he has to try to reassure them that that's not the case. And not the first time I've seen something like that in a piece of Walking Dead media, but it's a compelling conflict. Anyway, I think, I quite appreciate the way that, for, at first it looked like the walkers who are gonna attack him, and it's like, what the fuck is he gonna do? He actually, yeah, he ends up going with them. One of the stumbling, in his case, not quite dead. And so these days I don't do it every single video, but I did want to briefly, perhaps in part because that video does have discussion of addiction as, but yeah. Um, let's see, my research resort to double check, but I believe the title is Season 3 of Euphoria is Conservative Christian Propaganda, and it is an excellent video, which, if you're already familiar with the YouTuber, um, you might already know just from how generally stellar their output is. But Little Shop of Ali is the one who, yeah, fantastic. Always happy to see their videos pop up in my subscription feed. Anyway, I think that is yeah, oh boy. He is very hungry. So yeah, he starts eating dog. And I just wonder if somewhere, um, at least one character from Pulp Fiction is utterly disgusted with it. And I was also sitting there thinking, is that not going to infect him, though? Because, like, the walkers were eating the dogs. They're eating the pets. Can you believe he still got elected after saying that? I mean, we kind of have to. It's the reality, but Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, he said it on the fucking debate stage. God damn. I don't agree with everything, Kamala. There's a bunch of things, Kamala Harris, that I take issue with, but I do think her reaction was very human. Like, that is an appropriate response to that. Anyway, I think that is one. Yeah, and the one, well, I guess not walker, crawler, and he just, like, he's practically running circles around, even with his leg. But yeah, gets the belt and ties it off. I feel like that's when we get the flashback that explains the title, the Grotesque. And yeah, genuinely sad to see him using, but of course we did know. Yeah, and yeah, I did really appreciate that, because like, basically, he comes right out and says, I mean, the book is how Dad communicates, and it actually reminds me of him because it sounds like it's written about him. That is how some people who struggle with their own emotions, they will find a piece of media that helps communicate it and use that. Let's see. I think that might just about bring us to, but yeah, there's the thing about, like, sounds like a page turner. I mean, that is how books work, so fair enough. And yeah, God, it was so tense when he is walking amongst the walkers, and then they come upon the group from before. And yeah, the guy runs out of bullets and starts reloading, and it is this thing of, like, shit, is he recognizing, is he realizing that Nick is human, not Walker, or Dancer for that matter? And like, yeah, uh I've played enough Contagion to say sometimes the other players can tell if you are a human player playing as a zombie controlling a horde. Nick's not controlling the horde, but and yeah, the guy, he was just so eager to take out walkers that he ended up taken out by one. Very effective. scene, I mean, not his ability. And I really like the bit with the where it seems like he can hear them and understand them. And they're talking about, we'll take you home. Because, like, I am not 100% certain if it's... Because, once again, he ate some of the dog flesh. And, like, it doesn't seem like it takes very much zombie... walker DNA to turn someone. But it could also be the dehydration, the exhaustion, because he does collapse not very long after and just stay there until someone rescues him, so... But, yeah, very nicely done. Very much appreciated that the guy with the pistol, or revolver, whatever, he got full-on Romero'd, just, yeah, poor guy. He's absolutely gutted. And, I guess that is the part where he wakes up. No, yeah, yeah, the three up on the hill see him and recognize, okay, that is not... this person is human, not a walker. And you know, Luciana starts walking off, and then one of the others are like, Lucy, for fuck's sake, we gotta help him. And yeah, very, very tense with the they reckon, they see the bite, and the thing about, like, it's only gonna make things worse. And thankfully he remembers enough high school Spanish to not just ask them for directions to the library, but actually, underline not, not infected, pero. And yeah, he asks for some water. And luckily, Lucy has cleared up with the other two the difference between a I think he's okay nod and a punch him in the face nod. He does not get a lot of water, but they clearly also, they have an entire little community there, so it's not like they can just, they might not have enough water to spare. I like the scene with the doctor also. This thing of, he's personable and helping. You've got the thing about, like, how he asks, is it okay if I cut your pants open, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to treat you. And then the thing about, like, death should not be feared, but it should also not be invited. There's a difference. And yeah, like, just he feels like a doctor. He feels like someone you would trust and go to on purpose, not just wait until you can't no more. And I think that is... Yeah, I love the very closing shot. I'm a little worried because it's Walking Dead, so I don't know if this is gonna last. But yeah, if Nick does end up, like, staying here, that, because it does seem like somewhere he could appreciate being, and yeah, this thing of the way that it's book ended, the episode is by him, helping another, or helping someone younger than him, with soccer. It's not like 100% the exact same thing, but in both cases, yeah, they the other person wants to play, and he participates and is smiling. He likes being able to make others smile. That's long been the case with his character. And I think that might just about... I feel like there was something else, but let's see. what could it be? I'm just gonna real quick see if... okay, I'm gonna mentally fast forward through the episode. And I guess... No, yeah, that might actually be everything. So the... yeah, looking forward to the next episode. Shouldn't be terribly many days before I cover it. And yeah, I guess you could say that this is a bit of a dog eat dog situation. Or I guess a dog bites man, walkers eat dog, then man eats dog. Yeah. This is not the first time I've encountered a piece of media that could at least have the title, and possibly does, of Man Bites Dog.